About 5 years ago, I mean, actually longer than that. The more we have worked with local businesses in communities, the more apparent it became that lack of capital was just a underlying challenge across the board. And even in Baltimore, there are great local businesses, many minority owned that were existing, that had customers that were thriving. And even those businesses couldn't access affordable traditional capital. We really look at investment crowdfunding as a tool to build community wealth. And we are working across the board really to elevate the profile, to educate people about this. We want regular Baltimoreans to know you can invest in local businesses. We want businesses to know they can access affordable capital this way. And then we want to connect them. And we see this as a really important tool to help more Baltimoreans build individual wealth and to help businesses get affordable capital. So we're sort of been working on both ends of the spectrum. So when we talk about local investing, I always like to point to three different nodes, sort of like the triple bottom line. And one is, and this is especially important in a city like Baltimore, when so many people have been left out of wealth building opportunities, right? So on the one level, it creates so many accessible ways for people to start building assets. You're not asking someone to study the stock market and learn intricacies. You're really asking people to invest oftentimes as little as $100 in the pizza shop they go to, places where they can feel, they can talk to the owner. So for us, like one of the important nodes, like this is such an important tool because it helps bring people into just asset building, which is incredibly important, right? We're not going to solve generational poverty. We're not going to raise people's incomes through jobs alone. Like the notion of building assets is critically important. And then the second pillar we talk about, it enables businesses to get capital on their terms, right? So businesses can use this in so many different ways. They can offer equity, they can do revenue sharing, they can have more traditional loans. It is the only one of the only types of fundraising I know that puts a business in the driver's seat, which is incredibly important, right? If you want to line a business up for success, you need to have a tool that is not cookie cutter, that actually can be crafted by the business owner. And then the third and last pillar we talk about is just the community wealth building effect. If a business gives a small financial stake in its success to a real person, that person is going to be a customer on steroids, right? They're going to shop there, eat there, promote it more. And if we talk about, how can we create a more resilient, sustainable economy, cementing those relationships, I think is a really key part of it. So we have worked with close to 90 businesses to date that really span the spectrum from small restaurant to someone wanting to start a food truck to larger tech companies. I thought the example I would give would, just to balance what they said, be a little different. So this isn't really our bread and butter, but a good portion of businesses we work with are businesses that want to test a concept out. So they want to see, if we are going to move forward with this idea, are there people that would buy our product? Are there people that would be excited about this? So we work with a group of relatively young entrepreneurs that were in college, and they had an idea to make a smart golf ball. And they weren't sure, like first they couldn't get money from a bank because they had no credit history, but they wanted to see, could this idea work? Like, would enough people want this technology applied to a golf ball? And they raised over $1 million that way. And it completely, made them realize, yes, great idea. And they have an incredibly interesting startup for those that like golf. So, a developer who wants to get community buy-in, or a developer that wants the community to recognize that he or she cares about the community, will add some type of crowdfunding to their capital stack to get community investors involved as well. We want to be a resource to other communities that want to tap this logic model, because I think, like, it pains me that more places aren't using grassroots investment crowdfunding really as a community wealth building tool. I think lots of people are talking about crowdfunding and investment crowdfunding as a tool to help businesses get capital, but they're not really looking at this as a tool that can transform communities. And what I love about the Democracy Collaborative is that their work is really at the systems level and helping people recognize sort of the fact that if we don't have completely different tools and new ways of doing things, we're not going to generate new outcomes. So I feel like everything they write, everything they talk about is really grounding and important for the type of system hat you need to embrace this at its most transformative level.